Hey everybody, I'm Philip.
I'm Justin.
And together we are Pajamas. And this is 20 Questions Part 2. If you want to see Part 1, where we go through 1 through 10, you can check it out somewhere. But let's get right into Part 2, without further ado. Like last time, I'll start, I'll ask you the question, then I'll answer the question, and then you ask the question, and we'll just back and forth like that. Like ping pong. Number 11. What would be my ideal romantic date?
Oh, that we'd be invited to a ball.
It's very, yeah. I was thinking, I was kind of already smirking. I'm like, it's going to be very Disney.
Well, yes.
I know you.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
And what would yours be?
I am a simple man. I'm perfectly fine just like sitting together in the living room and watching TV. Like, I might not be romantic to other people, but I'm a simple guy. Like, as long as we're together, I'm fine. I sound corny, but it's true. Like, I don't require ostentatious things. But if I had like a dream date, and this is assuming I'm fine, we would take a flight to just some city we've never been to before, have dinner, come back, and we would just do that all the time. We would just...
And perhaps watch the night sky together.
Yeah. I'm an easy guy to satisfy.
Is there a belief or attitude that seems to interfere with creating or pursuing a big dream?
Does debt count? Is that a belief or an attitude? Like, it's our biggest hindrance for both of us. There's not really beliefs or attitudes. It's just like, I don't think my attitude stops me from doing stuff. Like, I think my attitude like propels me forward in spite of everything. What stops me from doing stuff, as said, is my injuries that I have and don't heal from. I really don't have big dreams anymore. I just have like little micro dreams. That can I get to this thing? Can I get to this thing? Can I get to this thing? Like little jumps, baby steps. Big picture, yeah. Like we would be, as we said in the first video, we'd be comfortable physically and financially. We'd travel the world. You'd be happy in your career. I would be able to make art without limitations, but there's hindrances, and I don't think it's attitude or belief from either one of us. I think it's just circumstance. So, yeah. I guess that's where I stand on it. What about you?
Sometimes it could be self-doubt or lack of confidence because of thinking that maybe not now, maybe later. Although if not now, then when? And if not you, then who?
Yeah, that's true.
It's one thing that I would definitely answer to this is that I suppose that there's a truth to the saying that one can be one's worst enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. 13. What are a couple of things that you appreciate about our relationship, and why do these things seem significant?
Definitely that we think very much alike and have similar attitudes, because that makes it very easy for us to come to an agreement on things.
Yeah.
Or a compromise.
It's not really... There's never much issue with figuring things out. I'm the more outwardly emotional of the two. But also I'm very grounded. So it's like, we just think of things logically. And if you do that, use logic, you're going to kind of come to the same conclusion because you're using logic. So, yeah.
And also, when we do have differences, they're more like complementary differences that they go together, like the yin and yang symbol.
Well, even differences, they aren't
really major, they're more minor.
No, they're not, and they're also not like positive, negative. It's more like your interests aren't my interests aren't your interests. And not in a totalitarian way, just like, you're more of a spiritual, religious person. I am not. But your religion and your spirituality doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, I let you fill the apartment and, this is your space too. So you express yourself. And in no way bothers me or hinders on my space, because you should be able to express yourself any way you want. Just because I choose not to express myself in that way doesn't mean that you should not be able to.
It would be as if, for example, there were a very simple looking cube in front of us. There's nothing about it, nothing positive or negative, it's simply there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much issue in our relationship like that, which is nice.
We're very much in sync.
Yeah. Same like life goals, same way of thinking about things. We may approach things differently and process differently, but goals and idealism is pretty much the same. I would say that a couple of things I appreciate about our relationship is that it's, and this goes in line with what you said, it's just easy. Like if I had to describe our relationship in one word, it would be effortless. Like there's no tension, we don't argue, we don't fight. Like there's no jealousy or paranoia or like it's easy, it's comfortable. I guess is another good word. Like we're just very comfortable. You know, I don't like drama. You don't like drama. So we don't make drama. So yeah, I think that's what I appreciate the most. It's just how easy it is to be with you and how comfortable it is being together.
The ultimate thing that can be said is that we're compatible. That would be an excellent summarized term for our relationship.
Yeah, like I honestly could say I could spend every single day with you. Like we could be like snowed in to this apartment for months. And we wouldn't get like cabin fever, we wouldn't get catty, we would be fine. Just as we have such a, you know, like you said, we just work together. Like I've always said, we're like puzzle pieces, and I think that's why it works. Like we could be together every single day without issue. We still do our own thing. We have this interesting unspoken respect for personal time, which I alluded to in the last video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, and then when we're kind of just both done doing our thing, we kind of migrate together and then do something together. And it's never like, you don't want to spend time with me. No, nothing like that, because that's not what it's like. You need you time. I need me time. It's healthy. There's nothing wrong with it.
It helps us to recharge.
Yeah, and then when you're done doing whatever you need to do or whatever you're doing, then we just have our time. And it's fine. So, yeah, I like our relationship.
So do I. In what situations do you feel most afraid or insecure?
Obviously, I have the fear of my condition and getting hurt, especially since I don't have access to a chiropractor anymore to put me back together. But outside of that, because I don't want to make every answer about this, in part one, I also said the same thing. I think it was the last video you said, we talked about kind of worrying about not accomplishing anything with your life.
Yes.
I'm worried about that too. Like, I'm afraid that I think that I have an innate ability to create. I'm not saying the best at anything, but my mind works in a way that I can just dream up things. As you know, I have a very active imagination. And I'm afraid it's all going to go to waste. Like I've known from a young age I wanted to make movies. I've wanted to create my entire life. This is a nice consolation prize, considering all the circumstance. Insecure? I'm most insecure about my relationships with other people, not you. Outside of you, I'm very secure with you. Like family, friends, you know, like my family doesn't talk to me. You know, they post online, hey, I talked to other family members today, and I'm never called or listed. And in the bubble, it's fine. I get it. I don't hold it against anybody. I'm not dramatic. It's not my thing. If you hear anything about me being dramatic from someone, they themselves are being dramatic, and chances are they're making it up. Because if I have something to say, as you know, I'll just say it to you. I have no problem just dealing with something. I'd rather deal with something, get it out of the way. And then with friendships, you know how much of a sore spot that's been for me. And it's an insecurity, like someone that would have your back no matter what, and someone that likes to be around you and enjoys your company. You can have that with your partner, and I do. But, you know, friendship or relationship is different than friendship. And I'm perfectly fine being here with you. I've said, we could be here every day for the rest of our lives. Well, not here, but together. And I'd be fine with that. But there's that insecurity of why can't I make friends? Why can't I keep friends? What is it about me that makes family not want to talk to me and friends not want to be around me? And for the most part, it slides off of me. Water off a duck's back. But sometimes, as you know, it'll get to me. Like I'll watch a video or hear a song and it just triggers something, and I get kind of, you know, in a bit of malaise about it, and I get over it. But if I had to pick anything, it would be that. Just because to this day, I still just don't know what it is about me that's so repellent. because I think I have an extraordinary amount of self-awareness and intellect and ability. So where's the flaw then that I'm not seeing? Because if there's one there, then I need to work on it to make people want to be around me more, to like me more. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with who I am. So when I say, if you don't like me, I don't care. It is the way it is. Like, if you don't like me and you're still friends with me, unfriend me. Like, don't talk to me. Like, even if you're family, if you don't like me, then leave. Like, I don't want somebody around me that just want to be around me. Don't have me around just because we happen to have the same blood flowing through our veins. That's circumstance. Want to be around me because you love me and you care about me. And I feel that way to my friends and my family. It's not reciprocated, or it doesn't feel like it is. It's like probably my biggest insecurity. So yeah, a little tangent there, but that's my answer. What about you? In what situations do you feel most afraid or insecure?
Definitely when something happens and I'm not prepared for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah, that's true.
I then get nervous, and when I get nervous, I then get an immense amount of anxiety very easily about it.
Yeah, I've had to learn how to talk you back away from it so you don't let it overwhelm you.
Sometimes I do let situations get the best of me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, there's stuff that's happened to you that we won't go into, but and then when you come home or I see you, that one time you had that issue at work, and we stood right over there, and I was like, I wasn't telling you how to think or how to react. I was like, here's why it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, in the moment when you're in it, yeah, it matters. It sucks. But when, outside of that moment, it's irrelevant. And I know you know that, because I know you think bigger than the situation. But when you were so, affected by it still, it was just kind of just calming you down, bringing you back to earth. Anxiety's like, just stop doing that. Gently massage it down. And, I'm not saying, it's going to be all better. I'm going to cure it and you're going to be fine. But I want you to just be to a place where you're like, okay, I can logically work through this and walk through it and not have it rule my headspace.
I shouldn't let it consume me.
Yeah. And of course, it's going to happen. It happens to me. It happens to everybody.
So basically, the answer to that question would be whatever situation gives me anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you like to do outdoors that you have not done before? Are there any extreme sports that you'd like to try?
I usually don't like to be outdoors, so anything about having to do with that may take some thought. Well, I suppose that in the area of extreme sports, is there anything that I would like to try? The only things that seem to come to my mind that would be something outdoors I've never done before is to either learn how to surf.
Oh, okay.
Or extreme skateboarding tricks. That's all I can think of. But one thing that they have in common is that they involve a board. Oh, and also snowboarding.
There you go. Anything with a board.
Yes, as long as it involves that seems to be something that will be an answer to that question. It involves outdoors, and they can be done in extreme sports.
What would I like to do outdoors I've not done before? I guess I would defer back to the traveling thing. I'd like to climb the Great Wall of China. I'd like to go see the Eiffel Tower. I'd like to stand in front of Big Ben. I'd like to walk anywhere in Norway. I'd like to go to the Philippines. I'd like to go to Australia. There's anything not in America that I could go do would be awesome.
You've been to almost every state.
Yeah. I only have the Northwest and then I'm done. So I guess maybe that. Finish off the continental United States. I would still have to hit Alaska and Hawaii. Extreme sports? No, I'm not a sports guy. I tried to fool myself that I was in my younger years to try and fit in with family and school, but not for me.
What country would you like to visit that you haven't visited yet?
Everything I just said. Literally. That's a little serendipity there. Yeah, literally anything I just said. If I had to pick one though, one country, probably Japan. One caveat, I do not have to come back. Well, two caveats. I don't have to come back and you come with me. What about you? What country would you like to visit that you haven't visited yet? You can't say Japan because you've been there.
Yes.
I'm jealous.
Well, it would definitely be England. I have a fascination with British things.
You do. It's fine.
And well, I would like to actually go there to the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
All over it, actually. So that way I can say, yes, I can go to this country, which is made up of 4 countries.
Yeah, that's true.
I could go, if I say United Kingdom, I can then go to England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Very true. 17. What family member did you most admire when you were a child?
Either my grandfather or my mother. I remember having very fond memories with them.
That's...
I remember being a child and really wanting to make them happy and make them proud.
Oh, no, Mom's proud of you, really, no matter what. Which is good. You want somebody that's going to have your back and be in your corner no matter what.
I also remember being very young and feeling that way for my great-grandfather. Yes, it was that long ago when I was that young. But I do remember hints and memories of
Right.
that.
That's always the way it is with my great-grandma as well. As for me, I can't pick just one. I admired my dad because he was always very calm. Just a very calm guy. Southern, just had that southern laid back and kind of thing. Like when you hear him talk, he has that drawl when he talks. Like, yeah, I know. Like he was very cool and very calm, very collected. That was my dad. I always admire that. My mom, I admired her toughness. She was a very strong person. I may not agree with all of her decisions and the way her psychosis works. I get why she is the way she is. She had a rough life, and I understand that. But she was like the toughest person, like tough. If my mom got into a fight with you, you were going to lose that fight. She was a tough lady. And then a dark horse would be my uncle, who has the temper of a volcano. He will erupt at anything, but he was always so confident, like just so confident and so sure of himself. And I admired that. Like I admire each one of those. Like I admire the calmness of my dad and the toughness of my mom and just like the confidence of my uncle. And yeah. And obviously they all had their flaws. I have my flaws, but all our flaws. But as a child, you don't really you focus on like the wow, like everything's all shiny and neat. And yeah, that's what I admire.
What activities did your mother or father do that you most wish he or she taught you?
I wish I had taken my dad up on his offers to learn how to fix cars. My dad was one of those guys who could fix a car. Like he understood what's under the hood of a car. And he offered so many times to teach me. I was like, no, I don't want to learn that. And I regret it. I regret it so much. Like I could at least learn how to change oil in a car, something, That's one that sticks out the most. Cause I think my mom, and I'm not saying it's a negative thing. Like, yes, we haven't talked in a long time, so this isn't like, analogous to that. It's more, I just can't think of anything because I can think of like a thing that she did. Like, she was a good cook. I think I'm a decent cook. She didn't take anybody's shit. I kind of cooked not to take anybody's shit. So I think I picked up the things that I needed. But as far as like an activity, all I can think of is fixing cars with my dad. Because he tried. He did. What about you? What activities did your mother, father do that you most wish they had taught you?
How to deal with intolerable people without giving in to them. Such as having to deal with them, but at the same time, it doesn't involve giving in, letting them walk all over you.
Yeah.
I remember ever since I was a child that my parents would be like my sword and shield.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I would be faced with something very uncomfortable, and they would take care of it.
Oh, okay. So you never had to.
Yes. And, well, I'd really like it if I would know how they did it. So that I can do it because, well, as you can see, one doesn't stay a child forever. So that is what I would have liked. That they would teach me how to...
Self-reliance?
That's one way of looking at it.
Okay.
Dealing with people.
You make it sound so like...
You had to have come into contact, I think everyone has at least once in their life, had to have contact with someone that you don't like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was a store manager for many years. I have many customer stories I can tell. But I was also known for the way I handled things. Like if any of my Blockbuster store manager friends and or employees that I'm still friends with are watching this, yeah, I have some stories about how I handled people because I wasn't a customer's always right kind of person. Number 19. What do you most wish you learned from your mother or father? Not the same question.
Yes, that's 18 and 19
we
are
just answered
the
that.
same question.
Well, since yours went into a more like personal, I guess personally I wish I'd learned how to be calm and how to be tough. Because I was a pushover as a kid. I think it's one of those things where like, you get picked on and beaten up for so long that you don't have the self-esteem. I don't know where I found my self-esteem and confidence. There's a reason I'm just like rock hard in my convictions about things. Because I'm not going to get walked over and I'm not going to get picked on and I don't deal with drama. I don't deal with catty bitches. And y'all know you're out there. Unless you have no self-awareness, like some of you don't. And you don't realize it. And I found it. But I wish I found it a lot earlier. Like, it's one of the things, like, if I could be me now at, like, 7 years old, somebody punches you, hit them back, tackle them, like, stand up for yourself. I wish I had learned how to have that toughness from my mom, and then how to let other stuff just roll off, and have the confidence, or not the confidence, the calmness from my dad. So, yeah, I guess to answer it in a more personal way, to tie back to the admiration thing, all these three questions kind of tie together. So there you go. And finally, number 20. Oh, okay, I thought it was only 20. Apparently there's 23 questions here. So let's play 20 questions. There's 23 here. We didn't look ahead. So, all right.
We get bonus questions.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Name 3 things that most excite your imagination when you imagine doing them.
Ooh. Well, one is naughty, and I won't talk about it.
Tell me after the video.
Okay. We've talked about it before. Another is traveling. Like, these are going to be all cyclical because we have like the same travel in the world, and then not being hurt anymore. Like when I imagine all these things happening, it excites me because I would just be a completely different life than what I'm living now. What about you?
One thing would be if I do, for whatever reason, come across an idea, a very thought-provoking and profound one, that I have never really thought before. It really excites my imagination because I then like to dissect it and analyze it.
Mm-hmm.
So that could go in with the imagination. Well, there's thought.
Mm-hmm.
Also, certain what-ifs for the future, like you were talking about.
Right.
I would then fantasize about, 10 years from now, this and that.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
And one more thing. It's a little silly.
Okay.
What excites my imagination when I imagine doing it, imagining that I'm important. And all of the attention that I would get.
It reminds me of that time. I wrote it down somewhere, but we were doing something, and you had this big smile on your face. Like you weren't here. You were off in Fantasyland, which is like completely respect. And I was like, where are you at? I was imagining people were throwing a parade for me, and all the signs said, "Yay, Justin." And I thought it was the most adorable thing I'd heard. It was so cute.
That sounds like something that I would think.
Yeah.
Yes. Imagining myself in a situation like that, and then thinking of all of the detailed things that would happen.
It was adorable.
Well, I am important. What I mean is even more important.
More renown.
Yes.
Yeah. What question about our money or future spending do you find hard to ask? We're very open about that.
Yes, we're actually open about everything.
Yeah. I don't think we can answer this one because there's not really. Yeah, we're very, very transparent about money in the future.
Well, maybe it's a good thing that they put in some bonus questions in case of 1 or 2 were not applicable.
Right.
Like this one.
Yeah. Next one.
What are your favorite things to spend money on?
Food. Obviously. That's like, it's a snarky answer, it's also the real answer. I love to cook. I absolutely love to cook.
You're an amazing chef.
Thank you. One of the things I like about it, if I'm in the mood for something, or you're in the mood for something, we can have it. There's been times we've been like, I want to try blah blah blah, and we get the stuff and I make it. Like I've even thought about doing like cooking stuff in the kitchen, but I just don't have like the physical capabilities to like move lights and cameras and stuff in there. And our kitchen's very small, so it would just be. I want to. Aside from the realm of food, I guess I don't spend money on much. I usually save for. I only buy important things, really. As far as frivolous things, maybe video games. But even then, when was the last time I bought a video game? It was Borderlands 3. It was a year ago. That was the last video game I bought. So, yeah, it goes back to the future spending and money thing. Like, we don't really spend money frivolously like that.
Well, things I like to spend money on. Well, definitely what would be on the list would be books.
Yeah.
What I mentioned a while ago about absorbing knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And it could actually be a book about many different topics. I even get excited when I buy a dictionary.
Mm-hmm. That's one shit.
I also get excited when buying something at Sephora.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things are what immediately come to my mind.
Right. And finally, who are you most envious of? Who are you most envious of? Yeah.
All that I need to do is think of someone to be envious of.
Yeah. Same. Hot, rich actors?
Something like that may be too easy.
I mean, yeah, it's like, but like, that's kind of where we have to go with it, because I'm not really envious of anyone in my actual life. I mean, I have friends who have success and a modicum of fame and money.
But at what cost?
They became like the cliche, like midlife crisis kind of people. Like it went to their head. They have zero self-awareness about themselves. So they end up getting like the just out of high school partner when they themselves are in their 40s. It was very cliche. So where I could be envious of the fact that they achieved success in the arts and I did not, I'm also kind of okay with it. I don't want to be that person. I'd rather be me, authentically me, and aware of my surroundings and what I do and how I think and how I affect the world around me with the self-awareness, than to just be some vapid, vacant shell of a thing that just happens to have fame, success, and money.
The only people that I can think of would be historically famous people, because they indeed achieved very much in their lives. And I do want to live a life in which I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
I don't want my life to be a waste.
Yeah, I feel that one completely.
And so I suppose that the only people that I could think of being envious of are famous people in history, because they actually lived lives that were important. They accomplished many things.
Yeah, they're historically known, so yeah.
Goes with the definition, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, well, these were fun. I enjoyed doing these. Some of it we already knew, because we talked, we were very open and honest with each other about stuff. But some were fun, like the family member stuff and, 3 wishes and all that. Those were fun. But I'm starting to lose my voice, so we are going to wrap this video up. As always, I don't have a fancy outro, so I'll simply say, as I stumble over my words, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Goodbye.